Hello guys, and welcome back to another Dazod 500 video. Today we are going to be pointing out all the inaccuracies in the Animaniacs President song. Let's get this underway. I should mention the song was written quite a long time ago, so it doesn't have the 4 most recent presidents, so I'm just going to ignore that.
Do you know the names of the U.S. residents who then became the presidents and got a view from the White House too?
That's not true. Not all presidents lived in the White House. George Washington oversaw its construction, but he never actually lived in the White House.
Pennsylvania Avenue. George Washington was the first you see. He once chopped down a cherry tree.
That is not true. George Washington did not chop down a cherry tree.
President number 2 would be John Adams, and then number 3 Tom Jefferson stayed up to write the Declaration late at night. So
that is also not true because he was not the sole writer of the Declaration of Independence. He did write the first draft, but then it later was amended by other people.
He and his wife had a great big fight, and she made him sleep on the couch all night.
Also not true because around the time that the Declaration was being written, Thomas Jefferson's wife was in severe pain from miscarrying, actually.
James Madison never had a son.
That's true. James Madison never had a biological son, but he had a son gifted through marriage.
And he fought the War of 1812.
James Madison didn't fight in the War of 1812. He only led troops in combat.
James Monroe's colossal nose was bigger than Pinocchio. John Quincy Adams was number 6, and it's Andrew Jackson's butt he kicks, so Jackson learns to play politics. Next time, he's the one that the country picks.
That's not entirely true either. Jackson actually got way more votes than John Quincy Adams. But what happened is that neither of the candidates got the majority needed to win, and Quincy Adams controversially was chosen by the House of Representatives instead of Andrew Jackson. And then yes, Andrew Jackson does get elected to the next presidency.
Martin Van Buren, number 8 for a one-term shot as chief of state. William Harrison, how do you praise? That guy was dead in 30 days. John Tyler, he liked country folk. And after him came President Polk. Zachary Taylor liked to smoke. His breath killed friends whenever he spoke.
Zachary Taylor didn't really smoke all that often.
1850, really nifty, Millard Fillmore's in.
Millard Fillmore is one of the worst presidents in American history. Not exactly really nifty.
Young and fierce was Franklin Pierce, the man without a chin. Follows next up period spanning 4 long years with James Buchanan. Then the South starts shooting cannons.
The Civil War did not start until Lincoln's presidency. The South started to threaten seceding under James Buchanan after Lincoln was elected, or was president-elect. But the Civil War started under Lincoln.
And we got a Civil War. A war down south of Dixie. Up to bat comes old Abe Lincoln. There's a guy who's really thinking. Kept the United States from shrinking, saved the ship of state from sinking. Andrew Johnson's next. He had some slight defects. Congress each would impeach. And so the country now elects Ulysses Simpson Grant, who would scream and rave and rant while drinking whiskey, oh the risky, cause he'd spill it on his pants.
Ulysses Grant actually smoked heavier than he did drink. Actually, the cause of death of Ulysses S. Grant was throat cancer from smoking. Also, his middle name was not Simpson. His middle name was Ulysses. His first name was Hiram. It's 1877 and the Democrats would gloat. Rutherford Hayes was inaugurated in 1876, and by 1877 the Democrats were not gloating anymore.
But they're all amazed when Rutherford Hayes wins by just 1 vote. James Garfield someone really hated cause he was assassinated. Chester Arthur gets instated. 4 years later he was traded. Mark Grover Cleveland really fat, elected twice as a Democrat. Then
Grover Cleveland was elected twice, but non-consecutively. His first term before Benjamin Harrison, and his second term after Benjamin Harrison.
Benjamin Harrison, after that is William McKinley. At the bat Teddy Roosevelt charged up San Juan Hill. And President Taft, he got the bill. In 1913, Woodrow Wilson takes us into World War I.
Not true. World War I started in 1914, and Woodrow Wilson didn't even get the Americans involved until 1917. Oh yeah, and the U.S. didn't participate in 3 out of 4 battles.
Wallen Harding next in line is Calvin Coolidge, he does fine.
Calvin Coolidge did more than fine. He wiped away almost all the nation's debt and reduced taxes. I don't think that's fine. I think that's one of the best presidents.
Then in 1929, the market crashes and we buy. It's Herbert Hoover's big debut. He gets the blame and loses too. Franklin Roosevelt, president who helped us win in World War II.
Franklin Roosevelt and the Americans didn't just fight Adolf Hitler in World War II. They actually declared war on Japan first, and Japan surrendered last.
Harry Truman, weird little human, serves 2 terms and when he's done.
Harry Truman didn't serve 2 full terms. He served 1 term and a little bit of a second because he was vice president under Franklin Roosevelt, who of course died in his 4th term.
Eisenhower, who's got the power from 53 to 61. John Kennedy had Camelot, then Lyndon Johnson took his spot.
Lyndon Johnson didn't take his spot. It depends on what you count as take your spot, because what they're making it sound like is that Kennedy was impeached and then Lyndon Johnson replaced him, but it was actually Kennedy who was assassinated and Lyndon Johnson took a spot.
Richard Nixon, he gets caught.
Richard Nixon wasn't, contrary to popular belief, Richard Nixon wasn't technically involved in Watergate, but he knew it was going on and tried to cover it up, and that's where people get the misconception from.
And Gerald Ford fell down a lot.
Gerald Ford did not fall down a lot. It was 1 time, and it was due to a knee injury.
Jimmy Carter like campaign trips. And Ronald Reagan's speeches scripts all came from famous movie clips. And President Bush said, read my lips. Now in Washington, D.C. there's Democrats and the GOP. But the ones in charge are plain to see. The Clintons, Bill and Hillary.
Why are they shown smiling? What?